ineffable being, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful, magical day. I want to tell you that you are a genius, you are special, you mean the world, and you are loved. Ineffable family, today we're going to discuss self-doubt and insecurities. What are self-doubt and insecurities? They are this little voice inside of us that can arise moment to moment, depending on the situation, that tells us you're not worthy enough. You can't be successful. You're not happy. You're not good looking. You're not smart enough to apply there. Well, I want to tell you that all that self-doubt is your past. Maybe at one point, the external world gave you the idea that you weren't handsome, that you're not beautiful, that you don't have the body, that you don't have the brain capabilities to accomplish something. But what I want you to know is that that past experience was a past experience. And the issue is that we don't know how to get beyond the analytical mind. And what your analytical mind is doing is bringing the past experience of where perhaps we were not at optimal health, where perhaps I wasn't that intelligent, and it's trying to use the past to give you a prediction of the future. So the moment that you hear a limiting self-doubt or insecurities, remind yourself, this isn't me in the present. Look, you may not have a new degree, your body might still look the same, but I promise you that you are not that same person that had that past experience. You have learned, you have risen, you have grown, you have increased your intelligence, you are more beautiful, you are more handsome. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about self-doubt and insecurities. To overcome self-doubt and insecurities, you have to get beyond the analytical mind. Because it is that analytical mind that is trying to predict the best future worst case scenario. Now that was a lot of, opposite words. Future best worst case scenario. But this wasn't by accident. Because what's happening whenever we can make decisions is that your analytical mind is again taking the past, whatever the results of the past to a similar situation were, and trying to tell you what your future outcome is going to be. Why is this a problem? Well, I'm sure that you have read more books, that you have drank more water, that you have worked on your health, that you have done something that you haven't done in the past. Now, sure, if you literally know, if you can be honest with yourself and say that I haven't actually tried to better my health. I haven't read any more books. I haven't worked on my intelligence. I haven't worked on becoming a better version. Then sure, maybe those limiting beliefs and insecurities, maybe there might be a little bit of truth to them. But even then, they're not the all and the true because inside of you, you have a heart. And your heart is unity. Your heart is love. Your heart is ineffable. Your heart doesn't care how you look, who you are, your finances, but your heart does want to be expressed. So getting beyond the analytical mind means getting beyond your five senses, getting beyond the rational thinking mind of up, down, good, bad, this looks good, this looks bad, this feels good, this doesn't. Whenever we can begin to get beyond the analytical mind, we're going to step into unity. We're going to leave polarity thinking, which is governed by your five senses. All your five senses. You can have things that sound good to you and sound bad to you. You can have things that appear good to you and that don't appear good. And it's the same with all your five senses. Feels good, feels bad. Smells good, and so forth and so on. So whenever you can get beyond the analytical mind, whenever you can lower your brain wave patterns, and get into that good, comfortable alpha, and if so, coherent beta, then you're going to be able to make good decisions. You're going to be in unity because you have left the rational thinking mind that is comparing yourself to everything and comparing yourself to the past and still trying to tell you what to do in the present to result what you want in the future. Getting beyond the analytical mind is so important, and it's very simple if we understand what the brain is. So whenever you are sleeping, you're in that good, comfortable REM sleep. You are in delta brainwaves. You have no connection to your five senses, and that's really what sleep is. But as you begin to wake up, you're brushing your teeth, you're preparing your breakfast, preparing your oatmeal. These things don't take a lot of mental knowing because you've done them so much that they're basically unconscious. So you're still in that theta, right? But you begin to have to decide, what am I going to wear today? What am I going to take to work for lunch? So you have to begin to start using your analytical mind. Start making decisions, right? So we get into that alpha, which is the connection of the physical to the non-physical, the spiritual to the physical. But once we are in full-fledged working mode, right? We're driving, we are in the office, we're communicating with people, our brain steps into that beta, which is basically is taking all the information from the exterior and processing it. That's how you can understand it. So we'll go from delta all the way to beta. We're not going to talk about gamma because we're not there yet. But beta is whenever you're working, whenever you're operating. Right now, I'm recording videos. Surely my brain is operating in that beta state. So whenever you have self-doubt and insecurities, what that means is your brain is out of coherence. Your brain is out of coherence because it's trying to pull the past, use it to predict the future. And this is an equation that you're never going to win. You're never going to win if you live by this equation. Slow. The answer is slow down your mind. Get beyond the analytical mind. Disconnect yourself from the external environment. My guru, my mentor, Sadhguru says, what comes first, growth or happiness? He says, obviously, joy comes first. Only whenever you're in pleasant states of being, growth is possible and riddled. If you have the fear of falling down and suffering, you will not go very high, isn't it? I love this phrase, I love this quote, because it is so true to us. If I am anxious all the time, if I am fear, if I am insecure, then I'm probably not going to talk to the person that I want. I can tell you I wouldn't have the amazing partner that I have right now. I wouldn't be the successful person in my company, in my personal life, living my dream if I was living in fear, if I was living in self-doubt, if I was letting these unconscious thoughts about myself permeate through me, and if I wouldn't be the filter to say, you know what, this is not true. Sure, maybe in the past I wasn't smart, maybe in the past I wasn't intelligent, but I decided to take joy as my foundation, take happiness as my foundation. Get beyond the analytical mind. I don't care about the end result of my actions. I'm going to decide on my actions and then see the end result. I don't want to be predicting the future. I'm not a sage, I'm not a guru, and neither should you. What you should strive for is creating the kind of experience within yourself that's going to allow you to create action and then learn from your actions. Stop worrying about the end result because you're not going to create any actions if you're worried about the end result, trying to predict some future case scenario. Take the words from Sadhguru. Learn to create the kind of experience within yourself, and then growth is possible. I am a success. I am living my dream. I'm maintaining healthy, loving relationships. I am helping people. Why? Because I worried about my interior, about what's going on in my inside. And now that everything in my inside is beautiful, is bliss, is heaven, now I have the energy. I have the excess energy to record videos, to build mentorships, to work 16 hours a day. I can give 100% in my corporate world, work overtime, get out of work, hold mentorships, hold meetings, create content. Why? Not because I'm different from you, not because the God Almighty has blessed me with certain things. I attempted suicide. I used to have problems, and maybe I still do. Because the more light, the more vision to your shadows that come. But this is the golden nugget. So let me take it down a notch. We're talking about self-doubt and insecurities. Basically, because of these two, I am in inaction. I don't make action. Why? Well, because I want to do something that's going to create happiness, right? The human being doesn't go out there to the world if he knows he's going to fail. Isn't that correct? So what's going on is the analytical brain is trying to help me, is trying to save me from suffer, from pain, from neglect. So what happens? It tells me, hey, you're not smart enough. Don't go out there. You're not going to be successful. You're not handsome. You're not pretty. Just stay in this little world and don't do anything outside of this world. But let me tell you why. Living through the heart, creating mental coherence, creating and cultivating elevated emotion is so powerful. If you learn to create the kind of experience that you want, it doesn't matter if you get told no, if you don't get the position you want, because it's your responsibility to cultivate that elevated emotion. So why are you going to let it go? Because the girl that you thought you liked told you no, I have a boyfriend. Or why are you going to stop what you're creating in your interior because your external world told you no, that you're not good enough? You're not going to do that because you understand that you have the power to cultivate an elevated emotion, to love yourself unconditionally, and through this unity, through this coherence that you will begin to create, you will overcome self-doubt. You're not going to type a paragraph, erase it, type 5 words, erase them, because you're insecure that, oh, they're not going to like this. And I'll tell you another little extra golden nugget. It's a scientific fact that the hormones of stress down-regulate genes and create disease, long-term effects. So if the end experience of every experience in the environment is called an emotion, is it possible to create the experience ahead of the environment by creating an elevated emotion? So what I'm saying here is, let's say that you're in university and you have to write this master exam, right? Well, first is, how is your interior looking? And if you're, again, living through stress, you're going to type, and then erase, and then type again. Erase, type again, because self-doubt and insecurities exist. But if you're living and you are focused on your interior, the moment you create elevated emotions, this is a signal that every cell in your body is going to be firing off and sending and creating. The moment your emotions change, your chemical signature changes, your electrical signals change. These electrical signals are called thoughts. So when your emotions change, your thoughts change. When your thoughts change, your actions change. When your actions change, your world has changed. Isn't it so? So if you suffer today with insecurities and self-doubt, get beyond the analytical mind, because it's your analytical mind bringing your past to the present and telling you, based on this past experiences, this is going to be a result in the future. But that's an illusion. That's a lie. You are an ineffable being. You have the grace of God, the Spirit of God, and all of the universe within you. But you must decide to have the heart, the power, the will, the fire, the desire to take action with this, to take it as a resource, as a tool, not as a platform for other people to dance on. Ineffable beings, I hope you have found value from this video. Please put down in the comments if you did receive value. And if you did not receive value, please also share that with me in the comments. And also, please put what topics you would like for me to cover in the future. I hope to see you next week on the side of light. Goodbye.